the defendant, Wade Stephen Wilson, be sentenced to death for each count of first-degree murder.
Team Wade is punching the air right now. They are wanting a new trial. So Wade Wilson is getting ready to appeal with new lawyers. They are bringing up some holes in the case, but it doesn't deny the facts of the case. But after the prosecutor said this, lots of Team Wade have backed out.
Have been cut off, at least from what I've seen come through our office.
You got emails from him?
We request his jail emails, so part of the process of our case is we've been requesting and reviewing his emails and phone calls to all of these women, and maybe a lot of these women don't realize, but all of this is public record. So their names, their emails, where they work, the photos they sent, all of that is public. And so we know the women, we know these types of jobs they have, where they are in our community, where they are in the world, and we've been reading them. So we've seen a lot of this communication through the course of this case.
Wade wouldn't talk in court with kiosk Kristen's children behind him. Wade said you will see him again.
Just like during any of the other phases of, well, let me just finish real quick. Any other phases during the case, if you want to address the court, I would permit you to do that. Obviously, everything's recorded. But you would have that opportunity if you wish. No one can prevent you from addressing the court if you wish to, and no one can make you address the court if you don't want to. So it is a decision that's solely left up to you if you want to address the court or not.
Not today. Later, when I come back, I will. Today, okay. No, I won't.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
The state calls Dr. Thomas Coyne.
Now let's react to Team Wade widows bitching about losing.
So if you listen to his story and who he says is he had to meet with in order to get clearance to work, you can take that name and then you can, and I've mentioned it once in this live, just once, and then you can just draw your lines down and then you can validate everything that we've said here.
At least has her headphones in.
It's very easy to find. I promise. I did it within 5 minutes and was blown away. Like literally jumping up and down. My husband was like, what in the world's wrong with you? I said, you won't believe this. Oh my gosh. This is unbelievable. These people put this out there on social media. But again, if you are that high level, you have nothing to worry about when you have ties all the way through the community.
So everybody is in on this. This is where this conspiracy theory that they got rolling doesn't make sense to me. And they said there's a conflict of interest with the judge through a program. I get that his wife was in some program, but I still haven't found any proof that Wade Wilson's connection with the program.
And you know what? If it comes out that it's not true, that it's what, I will debunk everything that I said. I'm just saying that the boy told a story. He can't be on Google. He can't be out there on the internet. He can't be fishing for things. I believe one of the claims by one of the people in that group on live was made that he had 5 years to come up with this story. He was just staring at walls for 5 years and he came up with this incredulous story that, everybody was involved. But you guys, you have to remember, he did a motion where he asked the judge to be recused from his case because of conflict of interest. He did a motion where he put out there his story. And this was all in 2019, 2020. He's not been sitting there for 5 years thinking up this wild, and what I call him is the cast from GTA, the cast from Sons of Anarchy, the cast from Breaking Bad meets the cast from American Horror Story. This is insane. It is definitely a Netflix movie, like, seriously. I mean, it's insane. But he didn't sit there for 5 years and think this up, guys. This was out in 2019 and 2020, which you can go to the Florida Information Act or Freedom of Information Act right now. And I don't know if they're going to lock all that down because of the appeal, but a lot of it's online and you just have to look for it. But he did this early on. This was not something that he just sat around and thought up. Now, on the other flip side of that coin, saying he's a great storyteller or that, he lies and this, that, and the other, everybody's like, he confessed, but then he didn't. So which one holds more weight? The fact that he said he did it or the fact that he said he didn't?
Okay, where's Steve at to break this down to this woman about how Wade Wilson knew it right where the body was of Diane Ruiz? So tell me that, lady. Explain that. Explain all the evidence in the car. Explain that. You guys are going off of this one paper, too, I seen about, in the paperwork, it talks about some tire mark. I don't know if she's about to get into this or not. But, yeah, this tire mark that was at the scene, it wasn't the same car or whatever, That doesn't mean nothing. There's still evidence in the car, lady.
But then he didn't. So which one holds more weight? The fact that he said he did it or the fact that he said he didn't? Because I can tell you right now, those to me are equal. Those to me are equal, that he said he did it, then he said he didn't do it. He has his reasons why he did that. The truth lies with Wade. So when we put that out there, and if you're on the opposing side and you're like, well, only Wade knows the truth. Well, when he tries to speak as true, why are we immediately saying it's not true? There's just a lot there. It's a lot to unpack, but I challenge you, if you are dedicated to this, if you have the time, instead of scrolling through, seeing who's on live, take that time to listen to the one, get the names, draw the connections. They're there. This is not something I created in my head. This is not something that you cannot find the evidentiary support on your own. This is out there, you guys. I promise it's there. I've been fact-checked. I was fact-checked on the YouTube channel. They weren't obviously going to report on something that they did not fact-check themselves. And I believe one of the comments in that was, Wikipedia can be modified. Well, guess what? I didn't even go to Wikipedia. I stay away from that. I didn't even touch Wikipedia. I dove into like the actual court system and where they feature people in businesses and things like that. And that's how I made these connections. So I challenge you to do that. And if you think I'm wrong, come back. We'll have a conversation about it. But I promise on everything in my heart that I have literally looked at this from both sides of the coin. And how the trial went, the fact that his attorneys, and I know you all guys know all this and I shouldn't have to reiterate, but the way his attorneys didn't defend him, there were no opening statements. There were no witnesses called, no character witnesses, no cross-reference. And the one time that I saw him do a cross-reference with one of the witnesses, he asked Diane Ruiz's son what shoes she wore and did she wear them every day. When you look at the evidence, she was found in a field with one shoe on, one shoe off. And breaks my heart to even say that, because she was apparently run over by a car. Well, that's how my brother-in-law was killed, was he was run over by a car. And guess what he didn't have on his feet? He didn't have shoes on his feet. So there's just little things, and I pull a lot of that from my own experiences.
What do you expect the public defenders to be crap? Of course they are.
Ongoing
They're
things that I've went through in my life to see the inconsistency.
They're not going to give them the best public defenders in Florida. This case was so in your face. It's like they're going to give them the two stooges, you know what I'm saying?
So on a high level, you might not see that until you think like that. So you have to kind of put yourself in the position of the victim and the accused to kind of see what's on either side. But if you do that investigation, you will find everything that I found. And it will not be a mystery or anything like that anymore. It's out there. The truth is out there, you guys. I think that was X-Files, wasn't it, Courtney? I'm not quite sure. But the truth is out there.
Widows are
and you just have to do that dedication to look for it instead of believing. I see so much online that, I don't know if you guys have seen it, where they put Wade up and these people testifying, screaming and crying. There's so much fake stuff out there that it's hard to kind of root through. So do your own investigation. If you're against this, whole things aren't right, and you truly believe in that the death penalty is exactly what he deserved, then, that's your opinion. I'm not going to sway yours. You're not going to sway mine. The truth will. The appellate court will, because when he goes into appeals, he will be out of that corrupt justice system. He'll be out of that. How many times have we heard, Fort Myers is a small town. Everybody knows everybody. They've said it a million times, guys. It's not something that you have to listen with an open ear to what they're saying. Read between the lines. It will benefit you incredibly. You will be able to see what I see.
And Cape Coral combined
and I hope this has been kind of informative. So, guys, let me know what you think.
Are you ready to open up for questions and answers?
Sure.
All right. So all of my mods, please be on the lookout. I'm also going to swipe over on the screen and try and get questions that I feel, are best for her to answer. And if there's a lot of hate comments, I'm just I'm done with muting people and then them going into my inbox and all of that. So I'm just going to block you if you're being rude. So please keep it respectful, and don't insult Tamara either, because that'll piss me off.
So we got Tamara and Courtney, the
but
Wade
yeah, so
widows.
we're going to... Your live is not eligible for recommendation and restricted in search results because your live does not comply with the For You feed eligibility standards. Reason, discussing drugs or other related substances. Oh, hold on. Let me
Yeah, did we mention anything about that? We didn't even mention anything about the addiction issue.
Yeah.
We didn't go into anything medical as far as the neurodivergence or anything.
Yeah, so yeah. Okay, so I'm going to open the comments now. All right. All right,
ladies,
so does
spit it
anybody have any questions for Tamara?
Yeah, how do you sleep at night, ladies? How do y'all sleep at night? Where's the Purple Hearts
Oh,
at?
much
That's my
love
question.
to you.
Oh,
Courtney.
thank you.
Love you, Court.
I feel like I'm spying on
Love
the ops
you.
right now.
Okay, so finally, someone whose butt is together. Oh, girl.
They have no idea. It's coming. It's coming. This is a high level overview. And I would like to say thank you to one person other than Courtney. In Hennessy, I've listened to a lot of things that you've said on here, and you and Amanda are awesome too. So just let me add that. So I had a little bit of help. I had somebody over in Sweden, and her name is Nita, and she and I have been working together since I guess right after the trial. And, you know, she's come up with some very good things that I've run down. We've debunked a lot of stuff, you guys, a lot. Like when people send me things, I debunk them. If it's there to be debunked, I'm going to debunk it because I'm thinking rationally. I'm not thinking one-sidedly.
You debunked
So
like,
there
the
was an
fake
an
crime
issue. She sent me a
TikTok.
picture
That's
of
what
a
you debunked.
car in the reflection at Mateo Graphic. Okay. And it was a bluish color car. And I was like, well, the timeline doesn't fit. So we were able to debunk that. So, you know, she's absolutely just keyed in on every little bit of information. But who would have thought to look in the window to see what kind of car was there? So that was something that she did, you know, and I was like, thanks, you know, that was really good for you to send. But I mean, I'm afraid that's not going to, you know, hold weight. But, you know, so she's been awesome in helping me. And we're in Messenger a lot. So, you know, I've met people from all over the world doing this, which is really cool. Wow. I think that's really cool. So, but any questions you have about anything, I can point you in the direction of how I kind of started this. Unfortunately, my TikTok is private now because of this.
I know.
So I've had to do a lot of maintenance on that and take down all my personal stuff. Again, because the anonymity thing to me is pretty hard. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have a question?
Oh, snap. Y'all stop letting people in so much because
I didn't let anybody in.
Allie, please be respectful.
Oh, of course, I understand. I actually love all you guys. You guys are an angel. So I appreciate you letting me in here. I did have a question about, in terms of writing him, when and where would be the appropriate time because of him being sentenced yesterday and wanting to write a letter to show that I do support him 100%. Where would be the place to send it, and when should I do it to have a chance of him receiving it?
Okay, my recommendation on that is to wait until he's placed in the prison where he'll be housed. Because if you send it to Lee County, then they have to forward it. We don't know that that's happening. I told Courtney this morning, based on what I know from, unfortunately I have a little insight on that as well. They can come get him as early as today. They can come get him as late as 3 weeks from now. Then they'll take him to a processing center and then they'll send him to his home prison. And I would suggest waiting to send any type of written correspondence until he is at his final location. And I'm sure we'll find that out and Courtney can post that. There's only 2 prisons in Florida that have death row inmates. I'm pretty sure only 2, right, Courtney?
I'm not sure. I think it might only be 2.
I think it's only 2. I'll have to do some research, but I think there's only 2 that houses death row inmates. So he'll be at one or the other. And you guys, death row is not a nice place. I'm just saying.
No, I understand that, and it sucks that he has to be there. So I hope he gets, a new trial and be able to get freed and get his life back and live happily and, healthy and away from everyone who's tried to hurt him.
And that's
but
our
I do
end game.
appreciate you guys. Yes, exactly. And I will be one of the supporters until the very end.
Awesome.
So I thank you ladies so much for allowing me to be on here to ask that question. I'm sorry I have to get back to work, but thank you guys so much.
No,
and
thank
Courtney,
you.
love you lots, girl. And thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Bye. You guys have a beautiful and blessed day.
You as well.
Someone had
Thank
said
you.
that he's not going to be, it was actually Bucky J. He said that he's not going to be moved because he has court in September.
Oh, that's right. So he has to still face those county charges from Lee County. That's right.
I do have a question regarding that.
Regarding mods?
No, where he's like in Lee County, because he also like, are they taking the time that he's already spent in Lee County against what they sentenced him to with the days that he was supposed to be stayed at Lee County?
You're breaking up. What was that?
So yesterday in the sentencing, how they said that about in Lee County, how he has to serve certain time over there. Are they taking that into consideration of what he spent over there before they moved him?
The time that he served, she's saying. Like
I think he gets time served for that, for like the 365-day charges.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was curious.
Yeah, I think the judge did say that he got time served, but I forgot about the other trafficking charges that he has to face for Lee County. So we would still be able to send him written correspondence probably for the next month in Lee County. You're right, Courtney. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So if you're looking to write him or anything, all of his communications, even though they said yesterday that they weren't, they are. All his communications have been taken away. Every single one.
Come on, man. Which one of y'all? Someone's lying here. The kiosk open or not?
All of that. He can't talk to anybody. So his communications have been.
Lady, take care of your
have
dang
been
kid.
cut off,
This is like, come
and
on,
he is-
come on. They
he
obviously
won't be
they need
able-
attention. Not Wade Wilson.
Here, I'll give you a bite.
No,
He won't be able to talk to anyone until September 6th.
that's ridiculous.
It's almost humane. It's like they cut him off 2 weeks before his trial and 2 weeks after, so he couldn't have any support before he went up for the sentencing. And
I agree.
I hope that they look at that in the appellate court as well, about his treatment there. And Wade has not been a model prisoner. Let's just be honest. Again, I'm going to be the one that's going to say the truth. If he was on this call, I would be telling him the same thing. Look, you haven't been a model prisoner, buddy. You've gotten in trouble. And the thing about the three-way calls, like I told Courtney today, that could be a very good reason why he got suspended from his, and maybe you don't know that, that it's being weighed out, but it is, and it's going against you. So,
Hey, and just so everybody knows, I've edited out so much kid crying in this video already. So sorry that you hear kid crying. It is not my kids. I'm not live all day like these people are. I'm not, having my kids involved. Like, this is ridiculous. And I've edited a lot out, so sorry, guys.
every infraction that you make in prison follows you throughout your prison record, obviously. So he's going in, with apparently, and again, I'll say allegedly, a prison break. He's going in with allegedly trafficking methamphetamines in prison. There's a lot there. Taken to account his age. You're seeing a 30-year-old young man on that stand now, or that trial, and he was 25 years old when he went to jail, and that's a long time for somebody to sit with what he's had to sit with, especially if these allegations he's making against these people are true, and he's sitting there.
Someone said, I just wrote them back. Bingo. The prosecutor is friends with not Jake, but his mother's Jake, and his wife is friends with the judge. Ooh. So can I say,
tread lightly, Courtney, tread very lightly.
Okay. So someone's mother is friends with the judge's wife.
She's actually on the same board with her for Pace Center for Girls, and you can look that up and find the names.
I know.
Yes.
And that is what was released on the YouTube channel.
And he should have stepped down. They should have stepped down. That was conflict of interest.
Well, and again, so Before that podcast was released, there was a lot of deep diving down as to what a conflict of interest was. And that was definitely in the guidelines for the Florida.
I believe they're talking about the Strange Embers podcast when they gave out links and told you to go here, and this person's connected to Judge and its wife in this program that I was trying to talk about earlier. Just show it. Like, make it easy for everybody. You guys have the worst presentation. You cannot convince me, like, at least have me like, oh, okay, well, let me see what this is. Oh, no, not at all, Karens, you damn widows.
The state conflict of interest. It is in there. You can look up that too. You can look up what the definition of conflict of interest is.
Oh, I know what conflict is.
Yes, and each state is actually a little different, and I found that out in researching this because originally I'm from South Carolina. So that's different than Georgia, and Georgia is different than Florida. So when
I don't know what that noise is in the background, y'all. Someone's breathing real heavy.
It's the jaundice. A lot of people were saying that he was yellow from jaundice and this, that, and the other. Any of you ever had newborns where their ribibellin was low and they had to be put under a light or put out in the yard because, they didn't have the vitamin D sunlight? This man is deprived. He 1 hour out a day. Come on, guys. I mean, really? And then they say he looks sickly. I mean, could you imagine sitting in there, especially with no contact with the outside world, obviously, cut off communications, facing this huge decision that somebody else is going to make on your behalf, and now having to go back to the same cell that you left for the next 2 or 3 weeks and having to sit there and think about this. And again, in the event that he's guilty, absolutely. And being in South Carolina right now, we've got the big Susan Smith thing coming up for, her parole after killing her kids. She wasn't even charged with the death penalty. She wasn't even given that capital murder. And she put her kids in a car and rolled them down a ramp, you guys. They found them holding hands. I lived in South Carolina at the time and worked with her husband. I know about this. And she was not even given the death penalty. And the prosecutor on that case is a jam-up guy, Tommy Pope. Look him up. He's amazing. And he did his due diligence in trial, but the jurors had empathy for her. The jurors had empathy. So, again, I talked about this on her live Sunday. Was it Sunday, Courtney, that I came on? I think Sunday.
I think so, yeah.
And I asked the question, if you have this many people signing petitions, this many people on Save Wade, this many people on the fence, how did you find 12 jurors who were absolute about a death penalty? Where was the one person, statistically speaking, that fit in there that might have had reasonable doubt?
There was 2 people that actually voted against it, Uriri.
That is completely irrational to me. I try to think that I'm a very rational person, and that is very irrational to me. That they could have 12 people, because again, what did he say? I'll repeat it till I die. Fort Myers, it's a small, big town, and everybody knows everybody. That case should have been moved out of that county. That judge should have recused himself. There are so many errors that will fall into this appellate trial that I think that this is, and I hate to say this because I say it with a very heavy heart, for his family, and I know it's a scary thing, and it's a scary thing for him, but I honestly think that this is the best thing that could have happened, because he does get that automatic appeal. And then if he doesn't appeal it at the state level, then I do believe, and I have to do a little bit more research, I didn't have time this morning, that he can do a federal appeal after that. So the actual sentence that he was given is probably working in his favor to get him out of those judicial systems.
I was talking to myself, but I didn't realize I was out of the box.
I'm sorry, and I'm just mouthing over everybody. I apologize.
No, I had a phone call, my mom. What I was going to say was, I agree what you said. Now, when you pick the jurors, they shouldn't be picking 9 to 10 people that believe in the DP, and one person or whatever that doesn't. No.
Well, in that event, if you think about how the miscarriage of justice that was seen and how his defense attorneys portrayed him.
The only one that really
then why would they go against it?
The only one I seriously think that cared was that woman.
And did you see the younger black guy with the dreads yesterday?
Yeah.
I believe he cared. I believe he cared. I told Courtney he has to work with the attorney's office because he didn't have a badge, so he wasn't like a court-appointed officer. So he had to be like maybe a runner for them or something. But if you notice the interaction between them, I think he believes him.
Yeah.
I think the woman believes him.
Oh, yeah.
And I just feel like, and you know, of course, they're going to put it off that she's a woman. Of course, he's manipulated her.
I know.
Listen, ladies, I've eaten men like Wade Wilson for breakfast, okay? It's been a minute.
It has nothing to do with that.
It has nothing to do with his guilt or innocence. The phone calls don't. His sexuality doesn't. And they're trying to discredit him. And so I was really upset when the girl from Germany pulled out because I felt like she had very good timelines. You know, I bought whiteboards, people. I have whiteboards on my wall that I have literally drawn. My husband has joked and called me Olivia Benson, and now he's turned it to Aaron Brockovich. I'm just saying. My husband, he comes home. Yeah, he comes home in the daytime. He says, "Did we send Wade his noodles today?" I think what got him was in the trial, and if you didn't watch it twice, you probably missed it. The prosecutor was explaining to the jury what premeditated murder was.
Oh, I have a question.
Okay.
My question is, he's eligible for an appeal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my question is, does the first one get denied or not necessarily?
No, he hasn't had an appeal yet.
Okay, but
that was for a retrial.
A retrial. Yeah, the judge can decline the retrial, but he is automatically entitled to the appeal because he's on death row.
Now, do you think we'll get a lawyer here?
Hopefully that's what the money that's being raised is going to go to, is a decent lawyer. You know, when I had actually reached out, I believe it's to one of the pages, I told them that they needed to take this because I tried. I really have tried to like remain anonymous and jump in there and talk to people. And Courtney is the first one to give me a platform. So I told them you need to sell this as a Johnny Cochran, O.J. Simpson kind of thing. People will remember Johnny Cochran for decades and probably centuries for his one quote. Can anybody tell me what that quote is?
Oh, God.
If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yep.
Okay. How long ago was that trial?
Oh, my God.
So this is an opportunity for somebody to take this and be known, like Jose Baez. I mean,
what about Casey Anthony? She got away with murder.
And I think that's why they try to make an example out of Wade. If you want me to be completely 100%, my internal is screaming Trayvon Martin.
No, there was
Casey
a lot
Anthony.
We
got to make an example.
Casey Anthony. There is so much evidence with this case. There was too many inconsistencies.
So do you know what killed? Do you know what killed the Casey Anthony case?
What?
Social media. Social media's involvement, social media detectives, social media. Yes. If you look back on it objectively, you can see that they took a lot of things and placed it in her behalf because of the hatred that people had for her. That she was tried and convicted in the courts of social media. She was tried and convicted in the press before she was tried and convicted in the courts. And that's where the empathy came from. So that's why I go back to that. Be mindful of what you post. Yeah. You know, if you want to post something like a thirst trap for just your friends that follow you on Facebook, by all means do it. I'm not telling people what they can and can't post. But these public things, all these people with these 15 minutes of fame, you guys, it's going to go away in the next few weeks. It's all going to die down. There'll be something else, or the focus will be shifted, but he will be forgotten.
Calls.
Yes.
Those are not new calls.
Yes, they're from, yes, exactly.
Wade is gone forever, gonna miss him so